The distinction between hearing and active listening in relationships. Human relationships are profoundly influenced by the way individuals communicate and connect. Among the most significant elements of effective communication is listening, a process that extends far beyond the simple act of hearing sounds. The distinction between hearing and active listening in relationships lies in the application of attention, motivation, and deliberate energy. While hearing is passive and automatic, active listening is an intentional practice that fosters understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. This difference is critical in shaping the quality of human connections, as the ability to listen actively determines the depth and vitality of interpersonal relationships. Hearing versus active listening. Hearing is primarily a physiological process that involves the reception of sound waves through the ear. It is passive in nature, requiring no conscious effort or mental engagement. The sound enters the auditory system and may even be acknowledged, but it does not necessarily register in the mind with focused attention. For instance, when a teenager responds to a parent with, "Yeah, I hear you," the words may enter the ears, but the message often fails to penetrate deeper levels of comprehension. Minutes later, when questioned about what was said, the teenager may have no recollection of the conversation. This example illustrates that hearing by itself is insufficient for meaningful communication or emotional connection. In contrast, active listening represents an entirely different state of awareness. It is an intentional, engaged process that requires the listener's full attention and energy. Active listening goes beyond simply receiving sound. It involves understanding the speaker's message, both in words and in underlying emotion. Three elements are central to this process: attention and motivation, deliberate energy use, and conscious intention. First, attention and motivation form the foundation of active listening. To listen actively, one must be motivated to do so, willing to focus mental and emotional energy on the other person. Second, deliberate energy use transforms listening from a passive act into an active one. Active listening consumes energy because it demands presence, focus, and often emotional regulation. Finally, intention plays a crucial role. When one chooses to engage in a conversation, there should also be a deliberate choice to listen with openness and care. This quality of intention fosters deeper connection and is essential for sustaining healthy, respectful relationships. The goal of active listening. The ultimate aim of active listening is to be totally and completely present with the person speaking. Presence means that the listener is not merely waiting for a turn to speak, but is genuinely immersed in the moment, attending to both the explicit and implicit dimensions of the communication. Unfortunately, contemporary culture often fails to model this kind of attentive presence for young children. In many households, constant distractions such as screens, multitasking, and hurried lifestyles limit the opportunities for parents and caregivers to model deep, attentive listening. As a result, many individuals grow up without adequate exposure to the practice of being fully present in conversation. Relearning this skill later in life becomes essential for building meaningful relationships. Obstacles to active listening. Despite its importance, active listening is a difficult skill to maintain. One of the primary obstacles lies in the nature of the human mind itself. The mind generates a rapid and continuous stream of thoughts, often diverting attention away from the present moment. While one person is speaking, the listener's thoughts may already be racing ahead, preparing a response, judging the speaker's words, or wandering to unrelated matters. Before the speaker finishes a sentence, the listener might already have several mental threads competing for attention. This phenomenon reveals how easily the mind disrupts the flow of genuine listening. The human brain is wired to process information quickly, and this speed contributes to the challenge. Our mental activity operates faster than spoken language, creating a gap between what is being said and what the listener's mind is already processing. This inner noise can cause disconnection and misunderstanding. The mind produces far more thoughts than we consciously realize, an endless background stream that often lacks coherence or loyalty to the present moment. These cognitive tendencies make active listening an active discipline rather than a natural habit. Cultivating the energy of listening. To become a truly active listener, one must begin by disciplining the mind and cultivating presence. Training the mind to focus and quiet its constant internal chatter enables the listener to direct energy toward the speaker rather than inward distractions. In relationships, every conversation represents an exchange of energy. The quality of listening directly influences the energy field between individuals. When one person listens with genuine attention and empathy, it generates a sense of respect and validation in the other. Conversely, inattentive or distracted listening creates energetic dissonance, weakening trust and connection. Therefore, the energy of listening is not merely a metaphorical concept. It is a vital force that sustains the integrity and harmony of relationships. Conclusion. In conclusion, the difference between hearing and active listening extends far beyond mechanics. It reflects a difference in consciousness. Hearing is automatic and effortless, while active listening is intentional and transformative. By engaging attention, motivation, and deliberate energy, active listening allows individuals to be fully present with one another, creating deeper bonds and mutual understanding. Although obstacles such as racing thoughts and mental distractions make this process challenging, the effort to listen actively is indispensable for cultivating respect, empathy, and authentic connection. In the end, active listening is not just a communication skill. It is an act of love, presence, and energy that strengthens the very fabric of human relationships.